Okay, this video is going to cover what happened this entire day. Now, I had some really cool testimonies of what happened several months back on my old computer before probably the power supply went out, and that was spiritual warfare, destroying my computer right after I make a bunch of videos that were unposted. I was waiting to release them later. So what I'm going to do is just upload or release these sooner, or I might just lose them. I could probably pay somebody to recover these files, and I might even be able to fix the computer myself, but I don't have money to buy a power supply, and that might not be the only problem. So it's likely just the power supply again, but you know, this computer, like, it was a good computer, but it was like 10 or 15 years old and had been upgraded, but it was in a server case. It's got unusual parts. It's not any brand. It's like a zombie machine. As I said, the Narcissist actually put this together, and they hated that I used Linux because they couldn't spy on me. But anyways, they built something that when it broke, nobody would know how to fix, and that was the point. So I don't know. I might just pay somebody to recover the files at some point when I'm not broke. And I'm going to make videos. This is my testimony. This is my story. My channel, I don't have very many subscribers, and that's okay. I know God is protecting us. Like, for a long time, I would make videos, and it's like, why do other people have, like, thousands of subscribers or 100,000 subscribers? I thought, I've got all this groundbreaking content, and it's not just like, oh, how I feel sad because of a narcissist. It was actually like, this is what a narcissist is. This is the way the spiritual warfare works. Like, I actually knew how it worked. So then I had no followers, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And so for a while, in the beginning when I started making videos, I was actually like a little bit, not a whole lot, but I was a little bit upset about this. And now I know that God was keeping me hidden and did not want my story to come out too soon. My story is not over. It is still going. And actually, when I made videos like a year or so ago, I didn't know everything that I know now. So it's like I learned something new every day or so, or maybe every week I learned something new. And then I add that information to what I've done in the past and what I've seen in the past. And then I'm getting like more puzzle pieces to put together. And then my final testimony is going to be a lot better. And also, like, right at the discard, like when me and the narcissist, when we split up. And so this was God, because God activated my light, and then God showed me who they were. And they might have showed me who they were too. I don't know if it was God or if it was them. But they were also surprised when I pointed out they were serpent. So maybe it was God. But anyways, like things are a lot different now. So I just know a lot more things. And it's not that I'm some genius. Like, every single thing that I had to learn was through basically getting screwed over by the kingdom of darkness. And I still ask God. I'm like, I still pray for knowledge, wisdom, discernment. I still pray, and every time you ask for wisdom, or every time I ask for wisdom, that means that something of mine is going to be damaged or broken or stolen. And then I learn something. Or somebody's going to, like, do some spiritual warfare or curses or spells on me, and then I learned something else. But I'll still do it. It is still kind of exciting. No, things aren't fun, but they could be. They could be fun if I was going through this under slightly different circumstances. Like, my house was clean and my appliances worked, then I would be having fun, But there's always, like, stuff that sucks, that prevents me from being able to fully enjoy my life. So I just try to look past it. And I just wear the same outfit. Like, I'm just resolved. Like, I'll just wear the same outfit all week. I don't, that is my life now. And it was like this when I was fake married. I thought I was married to the narcissist, but we weren't legally married. So we actually weren't even married. Because they're not a human. You can't be married to a snake. So when in the Bible it says, it doesn't say no bestiality. That's assumed. You already know that you can't marry your dog. But it didn't even say bestiality. It says don't marry a serpent. Well, the serpents made themselves look like humans, and they tricked us. That's what happened. So, but before, people knew they were serpents, and God told them not to marry serpents. And then, so then they stopped marrying serpent humanoids. And so the serpent humanoids shape-shifted themselves to look like they were human, and they were also hybrids. So anyways, oh geez, what am I even talking about here? What happened today? Well, today was a little different because it's Thanksgiving. So the soup kitchen was closed. No soup kitchen. But the city I live in, apparently they started this in like 1981 or early 1980s, where they have a yearly Thanksgiving feast. And the food is all donated from what I heard. If some money does go towards it, it's not very much because I guess a lot of businesses donate the food, and it was really good. It said it was like 10:30 to 1, and I got there afternoon because I was actually up earlier, but I'm not hungry at 10:30 in the morning. I don't want to eat a Thanksgiving dinner at 10:30 in the morning, and it was cold, and I was still like enjoying my little dog, and she was under the covers with me and very warm. And you see, there's a new blanket back there too. I've got tons of blankets now. This is good. Um, she is really happy. I praise the Lord. The Lord really came through and provided for me today, for what I prayed for. I'm actually concerned because I probably have a day's worth of dog food left. I went on like last night and I ordered more. Because for some, I actually delayed my next order a little bit, but then because of the holiday, it said it would be 3 to 5 days. Normally, once I place an order, it arrives the next day, and so I wasn't really concerned. Well, this time, because of Thanksgiving, it said it'd be 3 to 5 days to get the dog food, and their food is almost gone. I'm like, oh no. And I was actually a little stressed. Now, here's the thing. I totally trust God, and God will provide for us and will sustain us. That's the truth. But their dog food was really low, and I still have the stress, even though I fully trust God. And then I thought for a minute, I gotta get a ride, like, to Columbus next month, and I don't have a vehicle, and I can't get a ride from my enemies. And then I thought, I'm a little stressed from this, too. How am I gonna get a ride? Otherwise, I'm gonna lose, like, this bogus court case if I don't show up. So it's like, I get a little stressed from that. I trust God, but, like, provide me a ride that doesn't come from the kingdom of darkness. But anyways, I prayed today that I would be able to get food and bring it back for my dogs. So this community Thanksgiving event, it was like at a veteran center. And so my bicycle is still working, which is great. And it was really cold today. It was snowing. And I biked down, and then there was a bike rack like within a block of this location, and then I actually went all the way around. It was a huge building. I went in the wrong way on accident, and then so I went in the exit, and then went all the way around, and but they had different lines. Like there was a drive-through where you could just go through with your car. People were waiting in line in their car, and they would get their Thanksgiving meals to go. And I was on a bike. I thought about it for a second. I'm like, I better not. A lot of time they might have done it, but I didn't show up at this event to go through the drive-through. I actually wanted to go in and see if there was somebody I knew in there. And then they had a line for takeout, like when you go in and then you get a box to go. So I originally got into the line to eat there, but then that seemed to be taking a while, and then there was a line for to-go box. So then I just said, I think I'm going to go through here. Then I went through the to-go line, and I brought some Walmart bags with me, and I put that in a bag, and I took it, and then I got back into the other line. I got back into the other line. Now, there was plenty of food, and there was food left over. So this food is not going to be wasted. None of this food is going to be wasted. It is all going to be eaten. Like, some people will waste the food. That is true, but not me. And actually, most people will enjoy this food and use it, but but my dogs, they deserve everything that they get. They truly do. Yeah, they're naughty. They're bad, but like, they are just, like, shining and like, they're, like, radiating and emitting love. And they would have just been so happy since I started going to the soup kitchen and bringing back leftovers for them. I've been bringing home big meals for them, so they were really happy about this. And You don't give them onions. Don't give them a little garlic's really good for them, but too much isn't. So, but don't give them like onions or grapes or raisins. But other than that, like most things are fine for them. Um, let's see. And actually, at the food kitchens, they don't use a lot of spices. There's many reasons. Some people are allergic to things, so they use very little spices. And they also, when they request canned goods, they request low sodium too. So that food is actually safer for dogs, because like if you get a piece of turkey from the soup kitchen, they're not going to be putting garlic in it, and they're not going to be putting onion in it, because, well, that's more expensive, but they actually take into consideration certain people have food allergies. They've got to make a meal for everyone. So if anything, they'll put like a little salt or something on it, but not much. And so that's pretty good. So then I went through, and actually I grabbed another to-go box and put it on my tray as I went in the line. And then as soon as I start going through the dine-in line, the woman's like, "Oh, you're like the smart one," or something, or like that. She said something like I had a really smart idea, like I was the smart one or something. and I was. But I was not trying to be greedy. I could have went back and got a lot more, so I wasn't really being greedy. I was getting food for my dogs. But basically, when you go through that line, they have like these styrofoam to-go boxes. And there's something similar to that, but it's just the bottom that comes on these trays. Well, I went and grabbed one from like 5-10 feet away that was for the takeout line, which is the whole box. And then I put that on my tray instead of just the bottom piece, what you normally get. So that way I could eat out of it and then close it up and take the rest with me. And she's like, "Oh, that's, you're the smart one," or something. and I said, "Oh, I came in the wrong way. I came in the exit." So actually I walked all the way around. I went in backwards, so I wasn't the smart one. So, but what I did was smart. Because living with a narcissist, you learn how do you make the most out of things? How do you stretch your food? You know, stuff like this you consider. You have to think about when you're with a narcissist. Like, "Oh, I got some free napkins here. I can use this later as tissues," or whatever, when those things run out and don't get replaced. So, like, I've got all of these problem-solving skills just from years of living with a narcissist. And they just act like they're stupid, but they do it on purpose. Anyways, the food was so good. They had like mashed potatoes and gravy, and they had like turkey, the green beans, rolls. Maybe it was just normal, but to me it all tasted like it was cooked just right, and it had a good flavor. Like I had some potatoes at the soup kitchen like the day before, and they were pretty bland. Like there wasn't salt in them or something. There was like no salt. If you've had mashed potatoes with no salt, they're not very good. It's kind of what it tasted like. But here at the soup kitchen, they were very lightly salted, but there had to be some in there because they tasted good at the the community Thanksgiving meal. And then then I went to the dessert section, and they had pecan pie, they had pumpkin pie, and they had one plate that had like a brownie and a chocolate chip cookie on it. And then she saw I already had my tray with a to-go box on it, and she said, "Oh, I can put these in a takeout box." I'm like, "Oh yes, that'd be wonderful." So then I got a pecan pie in a takeout box. And then she said, "You can get more than one if you want." I'm like, "Oh, could I get the cookie with the brownie too?" And she's like, "Sure." And then she put it in a container. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. It was so delicious. It was so good. I actually ate plenty. And then I don't even drink pop, but I had a little pop this evening when I went for another free meal. So anyways, I went and I sat down, and I was just kind of slowly eating. And at this point, I already had a cup of coffee. I went and refilled it. I got another coffee, taking my tray with me, which I have now learned to always do. And I always watch my stuff anyways, because like the Kingdom of Darkness knows me, and if you have the light, they can see it too. So it's not just me. People with the light, the enemy, sometimes they can see it, and that makes you a target. So they will try to put things in your drink if they can on occasion. Now, I don't know if they'd be able to get away with it. So I've noticed like agents for the Kingdom of Darkness, but there's also like good people walking around. So I actually think they were keeping certain demonic people from doing things. They were kind of intercepting them and keeping them from doing certain things, is what I think. Because when I first walked in, I saw the man from the soup kitchen, who he works for the narcissist, actually. it's kind of strange. Maybe he was talking about the man he worked for. The man he worked for, he said, was a narcissist, and then, but this was someone else. Well, then he introduced me to someone else, and then he was like doing lookout for him. So I already told the narcissist I was going to this, but I said I didn't know what time. Because I said it might not be that early. It's just like when I get up, whatever I feel like. I'm not setting a time to be there. Maybe I'll get up and I'll want to go. Maybe I'll want to lay in bed longer. And that's what I did. So anyways, as soon as I walk into the dine-in area, and I've got my tray, and I haven't loaded it yet, then I see the man there. The man from the soup kitchen. And he's just standing there. He doesn't have a tray or anything. They've probably already eaten. He's just on lookout. So surely he sees that I'm coming in, and he might have, his main mission might have been to see when I come in. Now he might have had other missions too. That's possible, but it seems like I'm the main mission. I truly believe I was the mission in this case, because he was like friends. Like there was a small group of guys together with the narcissist, and this was the other man that was with him. And he was the one that introduced him to me in the first place, and there he was right at the entrance, and he would have seen when I came in. And so the narcissist had already eaten, but they're silly little tricks. I could just rebuke him and stuff, but I'm not doing that, because I'm seeing like maybe something can be done to help him be better. This sounds ridiculous, but like you can't be their victim and change them. But if I don't, it's kind of like a weird dynamic. If you're in a relationship with a narcissist, then you can't do anything. They think they've got you. You're trapped. But like in this dynamic, he's trying to get me and he's not. So I'm in a position where possibly something I say might influence him at some point. Because like when we go to heaven on earth, actually heaven comes down to earth, then they have to go. They have to go. So maybe they've like made like copied earth and made another earth over here. And so we are staying on earth. Heaven comes down to earth. But then the narcissists are going someplace else. They still think they're in earth, but it's not. It's actually hell. And the funny thing is, this is just like the same earth copied, but it's hell because it's only narcissists there. And that makes it hell, because we're not there anymore. And so just imagine a world with only narcissists. Like they rely on our soup kitchens. Like as corrupt as the churches and things are, they're not as bad as some. Yes, there are narcissists running them too, but that is not as bad as some of these other narcissists, because like they have to watch their behavior to some extent. So these churches have people in them that aren't that bad. They're lukewarm, or they're even good people there, and they are donating. And they are donating money, and they are donating food, and that is feeding these narcissists. They are like hand knitting and sewing blankets and giving them to the narcissists, donating them clothes, taking care of them. They don't even appreciate it. They don't care at all. They don't even have the ability to understand what is going on. They just think they deserve this free food at the soup kitchen. And they don't give two shits about whoever, paid for it or cooked it and gave it to them. And I'm not talking about everyone, because not everyone there is a narcissist. What I saw was one narcissist, and there was other, probably demonic agents there too, but they were working for the narcissist. That is what I saw. And the narcissist networks, and they try to get as many people as they can. So it's one narcissist. As I said, with my narcissist and the fake friends, you need a group of like 50 or 100 fake friends in the beginning, at least to start with, for them to even make it to adulthood. And then like gradually those people go off, and some actually repent, and then they go their own ways and separate. And then the narcissist ends up ultimately alone. But they need that support network. When they first start out, they're in a younger human body. They do have a large support network. And I said, like, just the nature of the way these Satanists are, and some of them realize what is going on and they don't really want to be involved with it anymore. They move away. Narcissist is screwed, but they can always find new supplies at the soup kitchen when there's a lot of addicts there. This is another problem, that they actually need like therapy. They need treatment to get rid of their addiction. Like, we shouldn't allow them to be addicts. This is a serious, like, it's a crisis what is going on. They can't help themselves. Um, and do we allow this, or is it against the law, or is it not? So I think is actually that if someone is addicted to drugs, they should get forced medical treatment. Actually, this is something that now, having seen what I have, having experienced things at the soup kitchen, I think when somebody is addicted to drugs, they get to stay at the homeless shelter, and then the people there at the homeless shelter drive them to the soup kitchen to eat, and then they drive them back, and then they're getting drugs somehow, and they're not elevating spiritually at all. But even if they wanted to quit, they couldn't. They're enablers. There are narcissists there that are tempting them. And there's always, and they'll prostitute themselves to get the drug. So what the humane thing would be force medical treatment. I don't remember what kind of treatment it's called, where you can actually just completely get rid of an addiction. There is a treatment that removes addiction, and they have a clean slate. They could totally do this. This should be forced, because these people, a lot of them don't know what's going on. They're in outer space, so why not help them? Anyways, so I got my community meal, and so I saw the spotter, the lookout, the watcher for the watcher, the lookout for the narcissist, the watcher. And I didn't see him make eye contact with me, but I saw him as I came in, so he surely noticed I was there. And then I sat down in the middle, and then one of the guys from the charity group that came to my house, he actually he was walking around the perimeter, and I think he was seeing what was going on. He might have actually been involved in, like, stopping some type of demonic attacks too, like, because it's weird. Like, what I have actually seen is I have seen people who I believe are angels, and I think at this point, when Jesus was trained by angels, they were humans, they were human bodies with an angelic spirit inside. If we see an angel, we will see them in a human body. So he was trained by humans that were channeling. And I understand this because God trained me through channeling. So that's what I think's going on. It's like certain things. I'm put in a situation, like, I don't necessarily want to be where I am. I see what's going on, and then I see the channeling, and it's obviously a test, and then I'm being tested, and how do I respond? And so I was taught by how to handle certain situations by angels. And that's when I started just eating the food of the people. And then I was asked through channeling, why do you do this now? And then I had to answer. So I think that, like, I didn't want to do that. But I have missions right now. And, like, this soup kitchen mission, I couldn't do that if I wasn't eating the food of the people. There was a lot of things I wouldn't have been able to do. So, like in the Quran, it also says, like, that when you are going against the enemy, that you can, like, do certain things to fit in, like, so that they don't, so that, well, it's like infiltrate. But see, people use this to say Muslims infiltrate the United States. No, that's not what it is. It's not about, see, that's what the Pharisees might be teaching people. Like, the mosques are ran by Pharisees too, and they make up their fake laws. But what I'm saying here is that if you have groups and organizations ran by narcissists, and you are trying to help turn them, or revert them, or reform them closer to God's original design, then you have to get in there. And you have to go along with certain rules, or you won't even get a foot in the door. That's what this is saying. Is in order to take back the world for the kingdom of God, then you have to kind of, like, I don't know, put on a costume and pretend to be one of them a little bit. Like, you just can't come out and, like, gung-ho and say you're wrong about everything off the bat, or you won't be able to make any change. So I'm saying is, like, so in this case, in order to do a mission, in order to see, like, these problems that go on, and for God to use me to do something to reform the soup kitchen, then I actually have to go in and I have to eat the food that is served there. Now, I'm not going to eat pork, but that I will eat the other stuff. If I have a vegetarian option, I'll choose that. But if they've got a meat meal and they put it on my plate, I'm not going to say anything. Because I don't want to look like some arrogant, crybaby when they've got problems with people messing with the bikes and people like handing out beers and trying to tempt them to sin. Okay, and this needs taken care of. Then I have to actually, and this is what I believe God wants me to do. I actually have to do some things that are actually kind of a sin to get in the door to be able to stop bigger sins. So if that makes sense. So then the lookout for the narcissist saw me, and then also a guy for the charity. And what I'm saying is, I think that this is what I was trying to say. This is the gold right here. Is that these good angels that were training me, sometimes they can manifest demonic spirits. They can manifest the same demonic spirits the kingdom of darkness uses against us. And they come into that good angel, and the good, which is a human. It is a human body, but it is channeling an angel. And then they look at you, and they are obviously testing you, and then to see if you're ready, then they then channel a demon, have that demon attack you, and watch how you respond to it. And so that's what I am saying. And I was surprised to see, yes, because some of the kingdom of darkness, some of these narcissists might have already flipped, and they are working for God now. And that's what I'm saying. So I'm not going to just rebuke and reject and cast out this narcissist right away. If there's a chance, like maybe some point later down the road, they'll be able to reform or something. Maybe not now, maybe not in this lifetime. But at least they'll have an idea how to do it. Like maybe, and be inspired. Because I keep telling them to just stop drinking and that marijuana is stupid. Because who wants to be tired and because they were telling me what they did that day. So anyways, so then they walked past me and I thought someone was going to come by your house or something the other day. Or I thought one of the people from the charity came by your house the other day. It was for the charity group that does the home repairs. Or he walked by, and he asked how it was going, and I said, I got a toilet. And he was like, did they come by a couple days ago, or I thought they were going to come by. And I said, I don't think so. I don't think I got a message. I'll check. They didn't. But this is a clue. Maybe they'll contact me. I don't know. But they were manifesting evil spirits. And I think this was also teaching me things that happen to other people and how to handle a situation, and to not freak out, but maybe because I'm shown things that happen to other people, so then I experience this too, and now I understand, like, if other people are being helped by fake charities and they get screwed over, now I understand the problems that can happen and how they need to be able to communicate with somebody who is not biased. Like now I see, like, any possible problem there can be, God puts me through so that I know it exists and where someone might need help and they're slipping through the cracks. And then also how to cancel the demonic assignment and just how easy that was and how to do it. Like, I'm trained how to do all this stuff. It's pretty cool. But it's like how powerful that we all are and how little power the kingdom of darkness has. Like, why haven't I cast out this narcissist? I didn't even tell them that they were a narcissist, so they might not even think I know. They're kind of silly. But anyways, the charity guy walked past and he saw me, and so maybe that was a signal. But I was just sitting there in the middle, like, by myself, and I looked at him when he walked by. I recognized him. It took me like a split second to see who he was, and I'm like, oh, hey. He's like, oh, who are you? Oh, and he's like, oh, Jennifer. And then he talked to me about the charity a little bit. So I think he was supposed to see me. And then on my way out, I walked past this thing with a bunch of free laundry detergent. Like, oh, you need a ticket to get this. Like, oh, I don't have a ticket. I said, just give it to someone else. So then I'm going out the door, and there's the tickets. because I actually came in the exit and I was leaving through the entrance. I'm like, oh, I get a ticket, and I went back and they only had one thing. They only had one left, and so I give it to them like, oh, I was leaving and here's a ticket, and so and so they gave it to me. I got the last one, but I don't have a working washing machine. But even if I go to the laundromat, I need laundry detergent. So I took it anyways. And like maybe I need the detergent because I'm going to be blessed with a working washer and dryer, at which point, like, I basically had to get rid of my laundry detergents because my laundry cabinet where I kept my detergents was like breaking. It's kind of coming off the wall a little bit, like not too much, but it was sagging and stuff. And so I took all the heavy stuff. Like I got a shelf to put on the wall to put my detergent because the cabinet was kind of like coming apart a little bit from the weight of things because it wasn't installed correctly. But then my shelf couldn't be installed, and so it was the point where just I gave away the detergent I had left because I gave it away because I didn't have anywhere to put it, and everything was getting filthy with like mice and dirt. So I just gave it away. Now I have some concentrate bottle, but I'm not going to be taking that to the laundromat. So I got a big thing of like Gain, and it's not 1 gallon; it's bigger. It's like 2 gallon or something. And so it fit perfectly in my bike basket with 2 bags of leftovers that I got to take with me. So that was good. And then as I am leaving with my detergent, then the narcissist, I didn't see him the whole time, then he comes through, and he comes in right as I'm leaving. He's like, oh, he's like, wow, that's so crazy. It's so wild. It's like right as I'm coming in and you're going out. And he kept saying this over and over again. I know that he did it on purpose because he had his lookout there. And they also have some shadow people or some demonic spirits that you can't see visibly. Like God has shown me them at times. I've seen them a few times, but normally you can't see them with the human eyes. And they can look at you and you can't see them. But they might have to stay... They might have to stay within a certain distance of the body. That's what I'm thinking. Like, if these are possessing the narcissist body, then they might have to stay within, like, 20 feet of the body or something. I don't think they can just keep going. So there's something weird. Like, this is only from first-hand experience that I know. This is gold, I'm telling you guys. Is that shadow being can come out of the body. And this might actually be, like, if you got a serpent or something, you got another Nephilim. In one way, they might manifest to you is as a shadow being, depending on how you see them. Different spirits come in and out of this body, and they can actually, like, come and spy on you to where you wouldn't normally be able to see it, and then go back to the body, so they can see what you're doing. And they spy on you just using technology and spyware anyways, but... So like, oh yeah, and I just, I left, and I was walking with my stuff towards the bike, and he just, and he was, like, following me, and I wasn't, like, trying to get away or anything. I was just walking the same speed to my bike, because I was, like, maybe a block away, and I had quite a lot of stuff. I had 2 bags, this heavy thing of detergent, and, like, something else, or some bottles of water, so I was trying to get to my bike quickly to put it, or... Not like running or anything, but I wasn't going to stop and hang out. I wanted to get the stuff in my bike basket. And then he catches up with me at the bike, and I talked to him for a while. And yes, it's the narcissist, and he just kept saying, "Wow, that is so like what a coincidence, like that right as you're going out, I'm coming in." He kept saying this, like trying to make it seem like it was destiny or something. And but I know they were spying. Like, he had lookouts to know right when... He was probably waiting right there. And he probably saw me go in again and was waiting by the door. So, he knew, and it was planned, obviously. And I already told him, people spy on me. I said, like, the whole town knows who I am. They all know me. Let's see what else. I said, I don't want to miss anything. But, he tried to give me something again. And I can't... I saw a video and it said, don't take any... I didn't watch it. I just saw the title. It said, don't take any gifts from wicked people. And I already know. I already know you're not supposed to. And you're not supposed to take stuff from narcissists. Like, because we were told to get rid of things the narcissist gave us because they're cursed. So he keeps trying, every time he tries to give me something. Now, what I have taken that he has given me is he'll have some food he got from the soup kitchen that he didn't eat. And I don't eat it. I give it to my dogs. I give it to my dogs. Like, I don't really know if I'm supposed to do this, but I had a take-home thing. And I put, like, a lot of my leftovers that I didn't eat from the soup kitchen in there. And then he had a wrap, and he took a few bites off of it and tossed it in there. Like, at that point, it wouldn't have made a difference. I just gave it to the dogs when I got home. But, but he keeps trying to give me stuff, and he had, like, a can of pop, he was going to give it to me. I'm like, no, I don't even drink that. So tonight I actually drank a bunch of cans of pop, because I thought about it. Like, I think I will have some. So, we were just talking a bit, and he says, I'm not like some weirdo, I'm not like some, or what, stalker. He said, I'm not a stalker. I'm not a stalker. What a coincidence that I was going in right as you're coming out. And he was trying to say, like it was surprising, like it was fate or something. And I said, no, this happens all the time. I said, like, everything, I don't remember exactly what I said. This is, like, a long time ago now. But how everything is destined. Everything is supposed to happen. Like, this is my life. This is, like, every day. And he said, I'm not a stalker. I'm not out there spying. He didn't, like, freak out, but he said that. And I said, well, if you were, then you can join the 50 other people spying on me, too. Or I said, you can join the fan club. So you can join the fan club. Because I didn't care. I already know he's stalking me. But it's a narcissist. Like, you actually gotta feel kind of good about yourself if narcissist, cause like the first time I met him, he's like, oh, I like a challenge, cause I already told him no. So the narcissist was like, I just can't believe, like, what, right as you're leaving and I'm coming in, like, what a coincidence. I said, there's no such thing as a coincidence. I've seen enough prophecy videos that say there's no such thing as a coincidence. So there's no such thing as a coincidence. Like, no, there's a coincidence. He said, there's coincidences. So he goes against, like, these silly things that you hear on the prophecy channels. Narcissist says the exact opposite of. He says, and I'm not a stalker. I'm not anything weird like that. He says, I'm not like those other people. Because I told him people was stalking me and stuff. He said, I'm not like those other people. He said, I'm not like a stalker or anything. And I said, yeah, you are different from most people. I said, you are different from most people. And he said he wasn't a stalker. I said, if you were a stalker, then you can join the fan club. You can join the 50 other people stalking me too. But anyways, I talked a little bit. And, like, at some point he mentioned what he did that day. And, or maybe this was yesterday. It was either yesterday or today. He said what he did. And, maybe that was yesterday. He watched some football. And what else did he do? He smoked pot, and he took a shower, and he was probably drank a beer and smoked pot. And I was like, I told him that's stupid, because like that stuff costs as much as food. And I told him that smoking pot was stupid, because who wants to be hungry and tired? Who wants to be hungry and tired? I said, I want more energy and to not be hungry, especially when you don't have any money to buy food. That would be nice not to be hungry. But anyways, I was trying to encourage, and like he said he would quit. And I mentioned something like the first evening or the first day I was at the soup kitchen, and it looked like he was trying to come on to me, but we were talking too, and he said he wasn't interested in that, but they lie. And I mentioned something like about being strong, and I said, you're strong enough to not drink. So, like, I say certain things in a way to encourage people, like it's stupid to be smoking pot. It's stupid to be drinking alcohol, and it's like you're strong if you can quit. Like, you're tough if you can, like, things I try to do that maybe will encourage the narcissist. I don't know. Maybe this will do nothing at all. I don't know. It could do nothing at all. I'm thinking, like, I don't really know what this mission is. Like, there's something going on at the soup kitchen. But I did head back home. And I gave a little bit of turkey to the dogs, but I didn't give them much food. And I planned on, I heard somebody actually say that the soup kitchen was closed, but they're going to be bringing food into the parking lot of the soup kitchen and distributing that. No, it was even better. It was like home cooked. It was like their family meal, like what they were eating at their house. They brought their own leftovers for people. So that's what happened this evening. But anyways, let's see what else. Oh, I don't even know what I'm talking about with a narcissist. Yeah, I don't know what the mission is. I really don't. Like, is it helping a narcissist to repent? Because they might be able to repent. They might. I think they probably could. But they might have to torture each other for a few years in hell first. I don't know. I think they probably could repent. But maybe they won't at all. Um, but one thing I've noticed, and I didn't think about this at first, is I think it's good that they have the soup kitchen and there are people that need food. But now having been there, um, I have to learn something each day and learn a little bit more. And now I'm starting to learn more about the soup kitchen, which is this is a resource that a lot of low income people in the community could use, but no one is. So what I'm saying is that there are addicts there. There are drug addicts and alcoholics in there mainly, and maybe somebody with like a mental disorder or something severely wrong with them. So there aren't normal people in the soup kitchen. And I'm not trying to bash anyone, but what I am saying is that what like when the narcissist kept trying to cast a spell of me being afraid, and I rejected this. So this is what has been used on other people. So I think is that other people, other like good people with children have tried to come in, with or without children, have tried to come into the soup kitchen to get food and were afraid and left and did not come back. And so I think there might be some type of hazing or something that goes on. And there are dark spirits. And the addicts, they're out of it. They're kind of out of it. So they're not like, they're easy to influence. And they're not the one masterminding anything. They're not. They're kind of human and they're kind of like in a zombified state because they're addicted to these drugs or they're alcoholics. And so I'm not hurting anyone's feelings here. We all know this. And, so there are people without much money that should be able to go to the soup kitchen and get a meal and might need to. They might be going without food and would like to go there. And they are probably too afraid to go. So maybe God is trying to have me reclaim this soup kitchen for everyone. And most of the people there could be fine. What I'm saying is if you have a narcissist, a territorial spirit over the soup kitchen, and so if I go, somebody messes with my bike and somebody puts poison in my food, well, what's good if that happens to somebody else? Do you think they're going to come back? Do you think they're going to come back again and bring their children? Because probably not, because I didn't see anyone else like me there. And so is the mission to like inspire the narcissist, or is the mission to like make it a safe place to park bikes? Again, is the mission to like get more people in there? Because like right now it looks like the addicts have taken over the soup kitchen. The addicts have taken over the soup kitchen and there are no normal people coming in. Everyone is like addicted to drugs or alcohol. And I saw somebody, like I think somebody peed their pants in their chair. So what I'm saying is that I'm going there because I'm not afraid of nothing. Okay, but everyone else is. They're afraid to even go to church. Like they notice something they don't agree with at church, and then a little spiritual warfare is employed, and they're afraid. They're terrified. I didn't even realize. Why would someone be afraid? And then God showed me. They're afraid. They're so afraid they won't even mention. They won't even dare say what has happened to them. They are so afraid. And if they're afraid of that, then they're definitely not going to the soup kitchen. And maybe they need a meal. So, I don't know what's going on. But anyways, it gets dark. I guess it gets dark about 6. And, someone said they're giving out food at like 7. So I biked down there, and I didn't really see anyone. I was kind of concerned, like, are they coming or not? Because it is snowing and it's colder, so maybe. But then there was a guy there. He's like, "Are you hungry?" And so then they came, and then within the half hour, someone else was there, and they had a lot of food. And this seemed like a good man. Like maybe he used to be addicted or something, and he turned his life around. I don't know. I heard him saying something to someone else. So he had been through some stuff and had reformed himself. I don't know to what extent. I really don't, because I just overheard something. So, but he was there, and he had all this food left over, and then he thought to himself, I could give it out, and that he should do that, or maybe he even went and bought some. But they had like, he had like macaroni and cheese and green beans and like meat and all types of stuff. It was a ton of food. I loaded up. I reused my takeout container from the Thanksgiving community meal. I brought that with me, thank goodness, because otherwise I wouldn't have had a way to get back on my bike. And I loaded that thing up so it wouldn't even really close. And even got some more pecan pie. And he said they're going to do it again tomorrow. And I said, I don't know, because I got food for tomorrow. Well, you know what? Me and the dogs already ate some of it, so I might go again tomorrow and get some more. I might. Because, like, my dogs are out of food. And I wasn't planning on eating it tonight, but we ate like half of that container tonight, so I might go back again tomorrow. I don't know. But anyways, there's like not a ton of people. There were some people, and they talked a little bit, and it was different. It was like the first time we kind of like talked to him and getting along a little bit. And there was a man who was an addict, and I could see this was a good man. And he had gotten rid of some of his demons. I can see these things spiritually. Like, he had some, but some of them were gone. And you could see these kind eyes. So you could see, like kind of addicted, but then, like, this beautiful human. So, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm talking in the spirit here. But, so he had some of the addiction spirits, but then it was like half and half of like an addict and a beautiful person. And then he was talking to this other man, and so that was good. And he was saying how he watches how he responds to things. And now if he used to get mad and be in fights because people would steal from him and stuff, and now he just doesn't even bother. He lets them do it, and he works, and he doesn't get angry about it. So, and you can see like he's got the good eyes. Like a nice, kind person, and then still the addict too. So it's like both. And that is very promising, and it was good. And I talked to him a while. And there was a woman there, and they brought in some blankets. And then so there's a couple women there at first. One of them was like, and we got blankets and stuff over here too. And so I saw that one, and it was pretty soft. And so I'm like, oh, okay. And I normally don't drink pop. The narcissist tried to give me a pop early that day, and I said, I don't even drink that stuff. And I mainly said that because I didn't want to take anything from him. I'm trying not to take anything he gives me. And I almost am like, no. And then they had a bunch of sodas set out. And I actually took a bunch. I took like 5 of them. Or I drank like 2 of them when I was there. And I said, you only live once, and today's a holiday. I normally don't drink pop at all. It's not on my radar. It's not something I spend money on. But I took several cans and I drank a few, and just as something different to enjoy. Then I got a nice pair of used warm socks. I don't care that they're. That was nice. People had brought in a few pairs of gloves. I saw a couple coats there and a few blankets, and that it's not like a great blanket. It's warm and it looks pretty good. There was one there that looks kind of like my brown blankets, but it was in really good shape and it had a kitten on it. And I looked at that and I said, somebody's gonna love this. I'm not going to take a cat blanket. I'm not a cat person. That's the type of thing that somebody that has cats is going to love. But I'm not. I don't. I thought I liked cats, but but I guess I just got a bad one. So I'm a dog person. But I'm still going to get a cat just because I hate mice so much. I'll probably love that cat a lot if it keeps some mice out of my house. But I'm going to wait to get a cat. I said, I was about to go and get one. And then I was going to wait till my house was done. There's a lot of construction that needs done here. So once that is completed, I'm going to get a cat. And that is to keep mice from ever getting into my house ever again. I've even planned out where I'm going to put a litter box and everything. And I said, I'm not a cat person, but I hate mice that much. But it was nice to talk to people, and I hang out for a while. I loaded up my bike basket. I got a lot more food. and I talked to some people, and they seemed nice, you know. And I got to talk to almost everybody, and even one guy there, he seemed like he was spaced out, like, he seemed like he was drunk right then, or on drugs, like, not a whole lot, maybe drunk a little bit, but he seemed like he was nice, and he asked me, like, if, anything about music, if I played music or anything, and, and I told him about how I played guitar, and he said, well, maybe in the summer or something, you know, because he said he had a recording studio. Well, this could be a scam. I'm not stupid. But at the same time, it could also be another opportunity. I'm supposed to be meeting up with people and having opportunities. So he said he had a recording studio and he was making music and stuff like that. He had a music studio. And he just came up to me and mentioned this to me out of nowhere. I never mentioned that I played guitar. I said, well, actually, since I moved here, I've been playing around with guitar. I think maybe I'm kind of good at it, you know, a little bit, you know. It's got really old strings on it, but, you know, and then he said, oh, yeah, maybe when it warms up in this summer. But he was kind of spaced out, like maybe he was a little drunker. I don't know. He didn't smell like alcohol, so that's why I don't. But then the guy that was recovering addict, that had gotten rid of some of his demons, he mentioned that that man was a thief. He will steal anything from you. So, you know, I can totally see it either way. It's possible to be two things at once. And so, I don't trust anybody. This is what I have learned. And it's normally the beta males, the soft-spoken men that seem like they're just good people. They're normally the ones you gotta look out for. Because they're normally working for a narcissist. They're not the masterminds. But they'll get you drawn in and pulled in, and so that someone else can screw you over. I guess that is what I have noticed. They themselves are not physically dangerous or anything, but they are connected to narcissists. The narcissist uses people like that look non-threatening to bring you in. And this is another little thing you might know. You know, all this stuff you see on the prison shows, it's like, this is what the narcissists do, and they do it on the streets, but they're silly and childish. And instead of, like, in the shows where it's scary, like, they're like that, but they're kind of like, they're not scary. I don't know how to say this, but I guess they can speak a spell over you to try to make you afraid, but you have to reject it immediately, or if you don't, then you come into agreement with it, and it could work. So anyways, while I was there, I was drinking a pop. I loaded my leftovers into my bike. I wasn't going to eat it there and get all messy, and then I had to bike home with sticky hands in my gloves. So I definitely didn't want to do that. I was trying to be real careful to have, like, clean hands, because I don't want to get stickies on everything. That's a nightmare. And all in my bike basket. So I got my bags, and I had my napkin and everything ready to go. And I was just hanging out, talking a little bit, listening a little bit, having my drink. And then there was a woman there, and she seemed like about my age or slightly older, and she had the blonde hair. And she was talking to someone, and she seemed like she wanted to help legitimately. She was a bit fancier than me, but that she had the blonde hair. But she seemed like she really was there and wanting to help people, is what I'm saying. Or maybe she worked with the soup kitchen or was involved with the management somehow. And then, like, I was standing, like, so they brought some tables out and they put the food on it. At first they had it on top of the car and I couldn't see it, and so I had someone help me load it up because I'm too short. And then they brought tables out, had the stuff there, and then I loaded me up a big box, put it in my bike. And then I was just like, got me a soda. I normally say pop because I'm from Ohio. Anyways, I was drinking that against the wall, and then this woman with the blonde hair, and she looked like she has it together. What I mean is she was, like, her hair was nice. I'm not saying that's something you spend a bunch of money on. I'm saying she was well presented. Like, her hair was done just right, and she had a nice fitting outfit on, and she was well spoken. And then she had her cell phone out, and then they had a lot of food there, and a few people had showed up. There's maybe 10 people there, but they were hoping to get more and give away more food. And so she pulled out her phone and she starts recording, and then, like, posting it, I think, on their Facebook or something, like, we got food here, come get it. At the soup kitchen in the parking lot, come get the free meal or something. And then I'm on the other side of this table drinking my soda, and then she's recording, so I'm on this video. And I noticed that, oh, I'm on the video. She's live streaming me onto the internet somewhere, probably on Facebook. And so, I don't know. Some vehicle had showed up in the parking lot. Now I don't know who this is. I have suspicions on someone it might be that would have showed up in that parking lot. Having seen, so what I'm saying is, she's live streaming. She pulls out her phone and she was facing it in my direction. Um, Even before then, when maybe it looked like she was checking her phone, but I'm kind of suspicious because I know where the camera is that this woman had her phone out and she was kind of pointing it towards me several times before she made this live stream. So maybe she had taken pictures of me and then she live streamed, and I believe I was in that video. And shortly after then, this vehicle showed up in the parking lot and the windows were blacked out so I couldn't see in. But I don't know anything, but I say I have a fan club. I have a fan club. The whole Kingdom of Darkness apparently is watching me, and they're not the only ones. So I don't know what's going on. And it could just it could be nothing. But it did seem like she was like facing certain directions so that I would be in the line of sight for her phone camera. And then when she started live streaming, I was actually standing like not against the building, but like she was back here and here's the building. I was towards the building, so I would have been in that video drinking something. And so that would have been seen when she was telling people to come to come to the soup kitchen parking lot. So maybe she did this unintentionally, or maybe it was on purpose. Maybe it was an accident. But regardless, it happened. So now I'm gonna go on and see if I can find it on their Facebook and see maybe I'm on there. Anyways, I got a huge meal and I came back and my dogs, they were so excited. I really love how happy they are to have a big meal. I have been stuffing them with this. Well, actually, they are not stuffed. They're not stuffed. They could eat a lot more. But I've been bringing them back like a lot of leftovers the last few days. And I've really noticed a difference in my St. Bernard mix. Like, he was healthy, but he looked a little thin. And since I've been bringing him the leftovers, he just has plumped up. Now he's got a little fat under his skin. And he just, like, it's almost like he's, like, more majestic and radiating health. Like, how do I say this? Because they were getting dry kibble, and I'm bringing back meat for him to eat for a few days, and, like, he's put on a little weight, and he just looks like healthier and more vibrant, and it's and like his hugs are even better. So, and my little girl, she's normally like wild and like not very loving, and I've been working on that. It takes because she watched her family die in front of her. She was never very trusting, and she was always wild, and so I've been babying her and giving her more food, and then she's been acting like kind of sweet and loving, like totally unlike her. I've gotten like the puppy dog eyes. You would not get that. And I brought back the one blanket, and then I brought back this blanket too. So then I covered her with both of the soft warm blankets. And see, there she is. Look at her. Look at her. Like, she's like 3 years old now, and she's finally getting domesticated. So I want to keep bringing them back leftovers. Now, some people might not like, you go to the soup kitchen and say, I want to bring this back for my dogs. Well, some people understand, and some people are like, oh, that's not what this food is for. And I understand. So I'm going to be careful. I'm kind of careful, But, I feel bad because I want to give them more. But I don't have the resources to go out and buy meat for them. Like when I can't really afford my own food, then I'm just buying them, like, and I'm not even buying them the junk. Like, I'm buying them regular food, but, like, it's a little bit better of a regular food, but it's still cheap. So, it's supposed to be a better normal dog food, but it's still dry kibble. And, I'm not buying them treats. I'm not, buying them, like, cuts of meat or anything. But, now that I've been going to the soup kitchen, I've been bringing them back stuff every day and feeding it to them. And they make a mess, and I have to clean it up. And, so there's work involved in this. And then they've been going crazy, like, looking for more and, like, getting into my stuff. So they're causing some trouble. But they are so happy, so excited. And, like, my big dog, he's seeming more healthy, more full of life. And I had prayed and asked God. To have a way to bring back a lot of food. for my dogs, to have food for them so they wouldn't go hungry. And God provided, and I got extra. And they even invited me again tomorrow, and I said, well, I got food for tomorrow, I probably won't. But you know what? I probably will. Maybe I'll go back, because I ate like some of those green beans and they were amazing. So maybe I will. I don't know. Just depends what I feel like. But, yeah, the narcissist, like, we talked a little bit, and then I headed out, and I didn't hang out. I told him, you should get a bike. So it's like now when I see the narcissist, like, I'm telling him what to do. I'm telling him what he should do. And he said, wow, how crazy. Like, right as you were going out, I'm coming in. And it's like, what a coincidence. I said, there's no coincidences. You know, it was supposed to happen. Everything that happens to me is, supposed to happen. So it's like destined to happen. And he said something like, and I'm not a stalker. He didn't say it all freaked out, like, I'm not a stalker. He didn't say it like that, but, I said, I'm not a stalker. I said, if you were, then you can join the 50 other people who are. So you can join the fan club. That was kind of fun when that came out, but maybe that will help. Maybe it'll help inspire him. Like, why would you be buying, or, the pot and alcohol, that costs more than food when you're wasting money on that stuff. It's stupid. And he said, I think someone owns you. I said, nobody owns me. No one owns me. And he can't believe there's somebody without a phone. It's just me and my bike, and I'm alive, and I'm not afraid. Probably everyone else is afraid, and I thought other people weren't that afraid. Like, because what you see on TV is fake. What you see on TV is fake. Like, other adults, like men that are bigger than me, are afraid. This is what I'm saying. They are afraid. I'm not afraid. Then how are they afraid? I don't it's like, what? There's nothing to be afraid of. Come on, let's go. Nobody wants to. Everyone is afraid. They're like little mischievous spirit, or they're afraid. And I know that like when people look at me, I look so sweet, and they like I look so sweet. They think they can get me. They think they can get one over on me, but they can't get one over on me. So like I had to go through a lot of training though, like for us to be like an effective weapon, we have to go through a lot of training, and that training is getting crushed over and over again, and destroyed and torn down and rebuilt. But it kind of reminds me like David having a ruddy appearance, and he was cute. So maybe what I'm thinking is he was cute, okay, and he had like kind of a little suntan, a little reddish from being outside. But like he had another brother that was like tall and looking tough, and they thought this is the one they want. And here's cute little David, like, because he didn't have a beautiful face, like cute, And then this is who God chose. So you can imagine what kind of impression. So when the enemy sees that, they just think they can destroy him. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened. Anyways, see, got a lot of food, got a blanket. I had like four sodas, four pops. So maybe I'm gonna go have another one. I mean, this is not something that I can normally spend money on. A woman that was there brought all of these in, and she had them all set out for people. It was very nice. These people, there were people there today, they used their own money, they cooked things, they brought it in, they wanted to give it out, and this woman brought in like all these cans of pop. That's not cheap. They used their own money to do this. God bless them. It's really generous. And so I've seen like, there's a lot of charities, you don't know where that money goes, if it even gets to anyone at all. There's a lot of overhead. There's a lot of government waste, how much of that gets to the people. And so, like, this soup kitchen, I'm pretty sure all of the food goes to the people. Like, all of that money goes to the people. It's actually, like, something that's desperately needed. But then there's other people that would like to go too, and they're too afraid, or they're scared off, or there's some type of hazing process. And so then it's like taken over by all the addicts. And they need to eat too, but there's got to be a better way. Maybe they should be in a facility for addicts and being taken care of and fed there. and then the soup kitchen would be available. So what I actually think should happen is the soup kitchen is for normal people that are not addicted to drugs. So if you're an addict and you pee your pants, then you can't go to the soup kitchen, but you go to a medical treatment facility, as this is a medical issue where you are given medical treatment. This is forced medical treatment in the case of being an addict to save your life. Like if you're going into cardiac arrest and they take you in the ambulance, these people should be taken to the hospital, being treated and watched over, given healthy food and cared for. And they shouldn't be out in public wandering around and prostituting themselves and being tempted by narcissists and given beer to put poison in my food. And then there's the other woman that said watch her food, and she was a good person, I could tell. So good people are being targeted in there. They are being targeted by narcissists who are probably bribing the addicts to do things to get the believers out so that they can take over all of the resources. So these resources are supposed to go to the whole community, and instead they're only going to the addicts, and the regular people can't even go. And this is the only place to get free food. Well, I'm going, and I'm not going to stop going. And so I think, like, if that narcissist loses his stronghold, then it'll be a safe place for normal people to attend again. I don't know what God's plan is here, but it looks like it couldn't get any worse. So maybe it can only get better regardless of the outcome. I don't know, but I'm going to continue to go. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep getting my meal, and I'm going to stand out like a sore thumb in there. And then maybe that'll just bring other people. Maybe at some point I'll just invite other people to come too. Because maybe they're afraid to go, but if I went with them, maybe they wouldn't be. I don't know. But yeah, I wouldn't even thought about this if I wasn't broke and in debt, and then I just got a free meal at the church, and they didn't want to give me much. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Where else can I get a free meal? And then now I'm finally ready. I didn't know enough last year, and I still had some money left. So it wouldn't have been right. So as the money is too tight to the point where now I think it's right for me to go. It wouldn't have been right to take this charity if I didn't need it. Well, now I can use it. Now I can use it. And now I have learned enough to know how to handle this situation. I can see what the real problem is. Here is a resource for the community, and they're not able to use it because it is taken over by addicts. Actually, they could come in, they could use it. I understand, like, somebody tries to poison my food, what to do, what it tastes like, what it looks like, and not to eat it. Okay, I understand this. But, like, someone else might not know what to do in this situation, and they will never come back again. So, and just going and tattling on the narcissist will do nothing. That is not the point. This needs to be retaken. So there's got to be a way to do this. I don't know how God's going to do it. Like, God does not inform me of the plan. I just show up, and then that's how I figure it out. So I might stick around my house tomorrow. I might go get a free meal and come back. I might make another video. I don't know. I like this hat. It's pretty cool. And when I wear it, my hair looks so bad. I just leave the hat on. My hair looks so bad when I wear this if I take it off. So this is so lightweight, I don't really notice it too much. So I just leave it on. My hair looks so bad if I take this off. So I just put it on. Leave it on because it looks better. Anyways, now I'm ready to go outside. It is so cold outside. Like, you really need ear flaps. They're even just slightly cold with this pattern. It's like 100 times better with the ear flaps than without. But I did not see a Jesus ear flap hat, so I didn't put a sticker or something on here like Christ's Army or something. The Christ's Army. Don't worship Christ. Don't worship Christ. Join Christ. Be the Christ. Embody the Christ. Anyways, that is enough. Who is watching this? Probably nobody. But look how happy Look how happy my little puppy is back there. And she had, good girl. She's never been loving like this. And the more I hand feed her meat from the soup kitchen and the more I cover her up in new snuggly blankets, like, um, she's just becoming loving in a way that I didn't even know was possible for her. Um, so this is like a blessing from God. And it, like, good girl, like 6 months or a year ago, I prayed to, like, if the way that she could love me more and I could love her, because I would love her more if she loves me more. So I felt like I was blocked from loving her more because she was not being able to open up and love me more. And she had been traumatized as a puppy. They were left out to die in a box, and like half of her siblings died right in front of her. Good girl. And there was like a human just dumped them out there by the road. And so it took a lot for her to trust. Good girl. But she's got like these loving eyes now, like she hasn't had before. So I think that is a blessing. Maybe something good will happen with my house. I got some free laundry detergent, so maybe that's a sign that I'll actually be able to wash my clothes at some point. Even if I don't get the washer right away, maybe somebody will take me to the laundromat, and then I'll be able to use the laundry detergent. Okay, so I'll probably make another video tomorrow. This is just my testimony. Maybe I'll have my own TV show in the future, like Chosen One Adventures. Nothing too exciting. You can do it too. Just like leave your family and friends and go into debt, and then start going to the soup kitchen and churches and start casting out demons. And yeah, so I mean, it's nothing you can't do either. But yeah, if anyone wants to hear, then here it is. We should all release our content for free, and then just have a donation link if somebody wants to donate. They can. But maybe I'll be a famous musician and take over the gospel tent, and then I'll make enough money that I don't have to go and beg on the internet. Because I'm not allowed to get donations. I only, like, a couple times get a little bit of money to buy chocolate milk with. If somebody's, here's $20 for chocolate milk, or someone's sent me $40 one year. And I don't get very much. Like I don't get donations, but, like, once every 6 months somebody will donate, and it's like, for this, for that. Because I'm not allowed to not be. I'm supposed to be in debt, but it was, like, so I could have something to enjoy at that moment. So, and I do appreciate that. So, God bless you all. Happy Thanksgiving. And I spent Thanksgiving, let's see, there was probably like hundreds, if not 1,000 people in the community center, the Veterans Building. I'm alone in this town, all by myself, sat at that table alone. And I went in that building, those lines, hundreds, if not 1,000 people were in there. And I talked to some people, and they talked to me a little bit. And then I went back, and I saw my dogs. And then I went to the soup kitchen parking lot, and there's a guy who's like, hey, are you hungry, in the car across the street? And they came in, and then I got to talk to more people there. And so I had more human interaction being alone in a new town. It's not a new town anymore. Like, I got to be around, like, a lot of people today. And then my dogs, too. So I'm alone, but I wasn't alone. Like, it was probably more fun than all the Thanksgivings with the narcissist, in the last 20 years that I can think of. So, God bless you all.